everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How are you guys doing today? So this is my channel, The Hermetic Herald. My name is Francine, and for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome in. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for deciding to walk along this path and this journey on this channel. I've been really focusing on doing what is relevant, not only for the collective and for our experience, but also what is helpful to the collective. So I wanted to touch base on someone here. I've been thinking as I go through my list and also going past just my list, right? Because I want to make sure I'm always in tune with current events. I felt like I needed to tune into Amber Heard. The reason why is because I feel like there's something shifting for her. Whether you like her or not, something is shifting for Amber Heard with regards to her exposure, like with her going, either doing more outings or doing more public displays of either, it could be affection, it could be press releases. I feel like she's going to be doing something and is working on something impactful, something that was meant for her. So we're going to tune into her. Let's look at what's going on for her. How is Amber Heard overall doing? I feel that card. I also do want to let you guys know that I am primarily clairaudient, so I hear messages from my spirit team and also from the person's spirit team if they want to be a part of this reading. Typically, there's someone that is, whether it's an ancestor or it's a spirit team member. It could be one of the archangels. I like to just keep it open for those that are here for the highest good of each of these celebrities. So let's see what happens. Overall energy, spirit. What would the overall... Nice. I feel that one here. And for those of you that don't know, sometimes I just feel it in the cards without looking at it. I don't like looking at it because that's me picking things out. I like to make sure it's all random. So let's see what else comes through. What is her overall energy right now? Overall energy for Amber Heard. Whoa. All right. This is one grouping of its own, and this is another. All right. Two cards that came through first was the Four of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. There's something slow and steady that's coming out, that's coming up for Amber. She's had to be patient, guys. She's had to be really patient with herself, patient with the process, patient with how people perceive her in the media, how people have been treating her in the media, and how people treat her physically, like in person. So she's been trying to be really patient, and what she's doing is as she's being patient, something is going to fall in her lap. Some opportunity is coming to her, whether she realizes it or not. And it's something that has been happening and been in process, in the making. I feel like the person involved in this opportunity that wants to gift her something has been watching her since the trial, has been looking at her, has been evaluating when it's time for people to address her again. Because I feel like with Aquaman, that was one of the ways in which experimentally people were able to see how will she fare with this movie. I feel like people were trying to kind of analyze her and see what was going on and how she interacts with people. I feel like since the trial, which everyone, I feel like a lot of people know about, I personally watched it. I'm coming from more of a perspective of openness to what comes through. So I feel like something is coming to her. Again, whether we like it or not, something is coming to her that she's not expecting. And she's been pretty patient, pretty patient with people, and also with her situation right now. Slow and steady has been her focus. Now let's look at these two huge groups, or just a lot of cards that came through. There are two piles that came through. So this pile is the Star, the Lovers, the Three of Pentacles, the Judgment card, the Page of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. So there's two piles, which feels like two roads for her. Let's look at the second road. We have the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Four of Swords. Okay, so what's interesting to me is that at the bottom of both of these cards are fours. Four is indicative of stability, And I feel like she has been trying to find stability right now, but I don't think she's unaware of her privilege or of what she can do and what she can make out of her life. I think she also likes the excitement, but she's trying to be stable about it. Now, when I see two piles coming through, both of them with a 4, that's on purpose. I think that there's a reason for why these cards are coming out the way that they're coming out. 4 of Wands is excitement. It's also a card of homecoming. It's a card of celebration. So she has to choose. Does she want a life or an opportunity that will bring a lot of peace her way, or is she looking for something that's going to bring her a lot of excitement and a lot of celebration her way? She has to make a decision on these two. The first one, with a star, the Lovers, the 3 of Pentacles, someone's going to put an opportunity on her, I'm hearing on her door, mailbox, like either email her, send her a message telling her, hey, we've been kind of looking through everything that has happened to you, and we'd like to speak with you, work with you, do something. Someone has been waiting for an opportune moment to talk to her because they've been waiting for things to boil over, is what I'm hearing. So that person is going to bring her an opportunity for stardom, an opportunity for a divine partnership, whether that be a love relationship or that be an opportunity like a career advancement. 3 of Pentacles tells me it's someone that wants to be a friend at the very least, that wants to partner, actually start a contract with this person, with Amber, and also wants to use her as a mouthpiece. They want to use her playfulness, her energy that is very young and youthful. They want to integrate her into a group, okay? So there's something about integrating her into a group or a partnership or an organization and celebrating with her. So this is the first group. The second group here, it tells me that she's going to try to speak out about something. She's going to try to work on something individually. So I feel like she has to choose. Is she going to go for an opportunity that seems to stand out among the rest? Or is she going to go for something solo? If she goes solo, it will take her some time. She will be able to break through eventually. 3 is significant. It could be 3 months, 3 years, or 3 days. But I feel as if it's somewhere in the middle, 3 months. So 3 to 7 months, she can fight back and really go against the tide, push against resistance that will come inevitably, and do it on her own. Communicate what she wants to do, communicate to the media what she wants to do, and say her piece. I feel like she's likely going to take an opportunity that comes to her, especially if it's going to help her financially. Okay, bottom of the deck here is the King of Cups, the Magician, and the 3 of Swords. Okay, sometimes bitterness can actually help, in the sense that when you're bitter, sometimes you want to see the other party or other people fail, or you want to see them see you rise up to the occasion. She used bitterness and anger and hurt and pain in order to manifest this opportunity. And the Empress is here, okay? So this could be her mother, like her experience as a mother as well. Something about her joy, wanting to reinstill her joy and wanting to be abundant with it. Taurus energy. So you have her energy coming through and the Ace of Swords coming through as well. So overall energy is this: her sitting and not expecting something beautiful coming her way. Now, I feel like we should look at how she feels about recent events. Let's look at how she feels about Jason Momoa and how he feels about her, okay? Devil. She feels like he's the devil. She feels the devil energy towards him. She feels like she was stuck with him, because the energy here is toxicity. It's about feeling tied to someone. Between the two of them, the devil still was between it. So, wow. First card out for them, the devil. She felt tied to this contract, okay? And I'm hearing she was over it. She was waiting for it to be over, okay? Death. Death is notorious for endings, ending some cycle, ending something toxic, as we saw with the Devil card. It's starting something new, transformation, Scorpio energy. She went through it, through this movie. She really did not enjoy the process of this movie, of starting this movie, of working with these people, specifically with Jason. We have the Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the dark. She felt abandoned. She didn't feel like she was loved or admired or respected. Okay. We also have the Two of Pentacles. She didn't feel like the money was quite fitting what she expected and wanted, and she also felt out of balance. We also have here the World, transitioning. She felt like she was hearing about things left and right, and it was from news and media outlets. So she felt like she kind of was just hearing things from other people. Instead of them telling her face to face, she felt like she was hearing it online. And she was also affected by how the world responded to her being in the part and in the movie. Wow, that Ten of Swords came out first. So let's get that one. Ten of Swords, feeling really extremely tied down. This was a really rough experience, and I'm hearing interest. Like she wanted to be in this movie, but other things were pushing her and pulling her against it. Now we have the Ace of Pentacles. She saw this exactly. So that's why the Ten of Swords needed to come out. This was an opportunity, but the first thing that came out was the pain. It was an opportunity, but at what cost is what I'm getting. We also have the Eight of Pentacles, work relationships, feeling as if this was an opportunity that she ran to. Okay, an opportunity for her to have her own shine, to have her own glory. And I feel like what happened was it ended up being something that she felt like she needed to do, something that would have helped and bolstered her career, but opportune timing affected that as well. So when she got the opportunity, other things were happening that affected her result and what came out of it inevitably. So the energy she's giving is toxicity with this person, with Jason, feeling like things had to be cut off. And I'm seeing like when, you know, like an arm has to be cut off, I feel like she felt like the arm was literally like, disgusting. It was like, it was rotten to the core before it fell off. So things were really rotten before it actually ended. Okay, so what are his feelings towards her? How does he feel? Wow, he thinks she's very empowered, very biting, a very determined person. This doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing, but it's coming off as the negative energy of the queen archetype in reverse. So someone who's not stabilized, someone who's very determined to get what she wants, someone who also, what's interesting, is very young, because when I think of the Six of Cups, I think of like sweet energy, but also like nostalgic. Hey guys, so moving back into what we were talking about, this is the next day. So this is the next part of the reading. It was done the next day because circumstances in life prevented me in that moment of finishing. So this is exactly as I left it. Let's continue. So we had the question about Jason Momoa, and as I'm tuning into his energy, I got a specific deck that I should work with. So we're gonna integrate the Moonology Oracle deck, because I feel like there's something about the moon cycles and why this message had to be put into two parts, and why it had to come out the day that it came out, which is a little bit later than I wanted to, and also the date that I tap into Jason Momoa's energy. Okay, so, excuse me. Look at this. We're getting clusters for these two. So the cluster that we got next, including this one that flipped over, was the moon. He didn't know what to think of her. He felt like she was full of secrets. He felt like he didn't really know what was true. He was trying to focus on maintaining balance with her. He felt like she had a way about balancing. And I feel like he wanted to maintain authority in the situation with regards to the Emperor coming out, his role in the movie, because I am under the impression he is the main character. I feel like he wanted to maintain authority in some form or fashion, to maintain visibility in the sense of like creative direction, role, as far as what role he takes in the movie and everything else. He wanted to maintain clear and be clear-headed about things. He wanted to maintain truth. He wanted to hold on to this sword of truth. He wanted to see the truth in a situation with her. He felt like he had to say, it's like when you have a friend, okay, and I'm using the word friend loosely because I don't think that's exactly what it was. When you have someone in your life that you feel like you always have to tell them, like, hey, don't do this. Hey, stop doing that. Hey, you gotta do this. You gotta do that. It makes you feel like you're the person in the situation that holds the sword of truth, or that is helpful to them because they need the help, they need the direction. I feel like he felt that way about her. He felt like he, interesting with the world or the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Swords, he felt like he came into her life and vice versa. They came into each other's life and she brought confusion. He felt like it was meant to happen because he feels like everything is like a cyclical type thing where, or at least like the universe itself, it seems as though Jason might have some perception of like things coming into your life to show you something bigger about something you need to address or heal or focus on. And it feels like he saw that she bred some indecisiveness and some confusion, and he was trying always to be this Ace of Swords, like focused and accurate and precise and clear about things, but he felt like she muddled him a little bit. How, we'll see. But we have the Nine of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. She had a very trickster type energy when it comes to him. He felt like she was a trickster. He felt like she was very mysterious. He felt like he had to balance himself out. He felt like she also was kind of like a mentor in some way, where he felt like he was teaching and helping and instilling some things into her. And he was okay with that. But it seems as though she wasn't honest about something. And that's why he felt like he had to take some direction or take some action. And I feel like he tried to fight through some major either distractions or major illusions about Amber. He felt like she was full of illusions, mystery, confusion. She muddled him up a lot. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Swords, the Tower, and the Hermit. He had to go within a lot. She would say something biting or saying something harsh, and he had to take some time to collect himself, because he was like, girl, you better hold on. You better, like, I'm getting the energy too. It's like he had to like act and treat her like a little child sometimes, because she would be petulant and say stuff to him, and he's like, okay, hold up, wait a minute, who the hell are you? And it's really interesting getting such a strong vibe from him about that. Let's see what card comes through for how he felt about her. He said a time to give rather than take. He felt like he had to give to her, but this is also the new moon in Virgo. That's Virgo energy. Virgos are notorious for trying to help and assist you by serving you, by assisting you with mental issues, mental instability, doubt, confusion, fear, like anything that they can possibly do, they'll try to do it for you to help you see a better or a more beautiful outcome of something. It's like perfection is what you attain to. As close to perfection as you can is what Virgo tends to embody, is focusing on how they can give to people. That's perfect. Being able to serve other people is perfection, because it's doing and taking what you have and instilling something and showing people something and being an example of something to someone. So he felt like he was an example to her. He felt like he had to be. But he also was really excited for the end of this whole thing. He was waiting for the conclusion to this freaking movie. He was over it, okay? Bottom of the deck as well was prosperity lies ahead. He was ready to move on. Taurus energy. He was focused on better and broader horizons, and he didn't want the past in this situation with regards to the negative press affect his career path. He was ready to move the hell out of there. With regards to Amber, is there any cards that you'd like to bring up, Spirit? Yeah, she felt like the energy was gaining momentum. So with her, bottom of the deck, hold your vision. She felt like he impeded on something in some way. She felt like she had to push past something with him. A fiery climax approaches. Aries energy and luck is on your side. She kind of was trying to get something out of the situation and move on. So she was, I don't know why I'm hearing the phrase hit it and quit it. She was trying to like run after some opportunity with regards to this movie and then move on. She had no interest in giving to anybody, whereas Jason came from the expression or wanting to express giving to someone rather than just taking. And I feel like he felt used, and he felt like she basically left him in her wake messed up. Like she felt, I don't know what the hell happened between these two apart from conversation. Is there anything else between these two? I'm just seeing disappointment, like physical interest in Jason Momoa, and her worrying. There's being a lot of worry, confusion, doubt. So I don't know why she tried. So she tried something with him, and she was interested in him physically and was hoping for something new, or just to start something new with Jason. Is that the case, Spirit? Because I'm just getting like really crazy shifty energy. Six of Swords. He literally was protecting his family. He wanted to move out of this energy. He wanted to move on to calmer waters. He tried to make it clear, Jason, on Jason's end, that he wasn't interested. With regards to her, I feel like she blew up. Yeah, like she thought, oh, this would be helpful to her. It'd help her move out of an old situation. It'd help her move on to something better and brighter. She had a lot of emotions towards him, but I feel like he was just trying to move out and move away. He was afraid, okay? And she had personal grief and sorrow when she found out that he wasn't interested in her and that he was just trying to move on. Look at this. She felt like he was like meant to be for her, Amber specifically. And like I said, regardless of what you think about her, I just like to read what I see, and I'm seeing the Two of Cups and the High Priestess for her. I see her looking from afar actually and trying to like fight or trying to push past some boundaries in order to at least come to some decision with him. And I feel like he was very protective, very like, no, that's not going to happen, trying to move on to calmer waters and avoid the drama. And I feel like she brought some drama his way. Whether you like her or not, we can admit that she did provide or cause some drama. And this is, you could say it's from a number of angles, but she seems to bring drama energetically. Like you can bring drama by being attracted to people that are like that as well. Just saying. All right, so let's see what else is coming through for her. Apart from that opportunity, is there any other information that we should know about her? Let's look at her archetypes. What archetypes does Amber Heard embody? Okay, Taurus energy coming through. They're telling me to look at the last three. So always finding opportunities. Like she never just wants to sit back and do one thing. She wants to learn how to do a number of things. So she's coming with the energy of I can do anything I put my mind to. Fuck you for trying to tell me I can't do it. That's what I'm getting right off the bat, is like she thinks, she believes that she'll be successful no matter what it is that she does, and that she'll get to the heights that she wants to get to, and no one's going to stop her or tell her differently. So she wants all of the luxury, all of the abundance that life has to offer her. And she does not just want to stay in one role whatsoever. I'm feeling these cards for her archetypes. We're going to continue. What other light archetypes, light attributes? Yeah, light attributes. Okay, so we have 4 so far. Is there any more? Any other light attributes? This one. All right, and let's look at her shadow. Any shadow attributes she needs to be aware of, and that we need to be aware of as well, Spirit Team. Any shadow attributes? Interesting. I'm hearing benched. These 2 attributes are benched, meaning that she gets into these in certain moments, like I think when things get really bad. So they're separating that, and they're saying those are the super shadow sides. I've never had any person come through that way before, ever. All right. Okay. And if you guys are liking this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Doing so will help people see this video in the algorithm, and also will help other members see what's going on and how you guys are interacting with each other here. So let's get into it. I feel like there's more. That's the crazy part. Let's keep going with these top ones though. We have for her light attributes, Child Eternal. She's a very young spirit. Determination to remain young in body, ability to see things with fresh eyes. So she's very young at heart, very youthful. She loves love, okay? We have romantic charm and potential for power. She loves how powerful she is when she's loving people, or when she shows her love, when she dotes on someone. Taurus energy. We also have expresses soul insights in symbolic language, a poet. She loves to write. She loves to use her language, like use poetry, flowery language to kind of embody or to enwrap you, like, or to wrap her arms around you poetically. There's something about her words. She loves to say things in such a way where you're just astounded by it. And I wonder what her Mercury is. If you guys know what her Mercury is, please share it in the comments below. We also have, wow, artist. So she is an artist. She has other talents as well. She's able to convey life in other dimensions, and also to see it beyond just the 2D or how people typically see it. She sees life differently. She has a very it's interesting. I'm seeing a museum, and I'm seeing like if I were to look at it like a painting or something, a portrait or something on like a canvas at a museum, I feel like she would be a great person to utilize museums and writing something on there that would really invoke some feeling into something like a piece of work or some art. So she has that ability to grasp at things and to see it. And I'm hearing it's like I'm hearing words that I don't usually use. I've used it before, titillating, but I'm hearing that, like titillating your senses, getting you to really look into stuff in a more deeper sense. I'm getting luxury chocolate. And I'm also seeing for her the heroine archetype, which is passion for a journey of self-empowerment. She wants to empower herself along the way 100%. Can you blame her for that? I mean, I would want to be personally empowered in every aspect of life. Now, let's look at her shadow attributes. First shadow attribute that we got is pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. So she feels like she should see things and that they should just come to her because she's amazing, right? And it's not fair if she doesn't see the beauty of what life has to offer her. She deserves it without having to do anything on her part, just by existing is how it's coming across. So there's some pessimism about having to take action on certain things and kind of expecting things to come to her. Not as realistic as a lot of people are as an adult, which kind of makes me feel like as a younger energy with the child eternal, it's kind of mixing with her expectation because others have provided for her. Therefore, why should she have to work so hard for that? It's interesting to see that with the hero archetype, because that's someone who wants to be empowered and yet needs to work on dependence. There's some codependence there. So let's look at the other one. We also have embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. She has a tendency of not caring what happens to a cause, as long as it brings her notoriety and it brings her some kind of value or some kind of monetary gain in some way. So she acts as an advocate for things, but she's not deeply touched by those things. She'd rather go with whatever gives her the most money for the sake of notoriety or finances or an opportunity to select from a number of things. She's kind of in, what is it called? Strategic about who she aligns with. It's more so for her gain. We also have scribe, which is altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. This is someone who tends to alter facts in order to get a result that she desires. Plagiarizing others' work. She's an artist archetype. She could totally do things herself, but I think it takes a lot of growth and maturity in order to provide those things or to come to you're always constantly growing, right? But there's something about the beauty of seeing the process happen and unfold for you. I feel like sometimes she takes on the growth of other people, the work of other people, and she then says and signs it off and says that she's in that position when she's really not there emotionally, mentally, energetically yet. Energy doesn't lie. So you could respond and say and act a certain way to seem like you're mature when in reality you're really not there yet, but you can, because you can look at someone and see how they act. You can kind of emulate that. That doesn't mean you're there, okay? We also have gambler, relying on luck rather than hard work. relying on luck. She's a very she'll take a lot of chances. Risky behaviors and such is something that a gambler archetype in the shadow would do, because they feel like they're owed that. And why wouldn't they get that? They haven't seen the hardest sense or experience with life where they feel like it's a possibility. They feel like they're kind of in the clouds and nothing can touch them, nothing can hurt them, because why would it? I'm not a bad person. I'm getting that energy coming through. And even as I said that, my voice changed. I'm getting the energy of someone who just doesn't see the consequences of life as deeply as they should, because if they did, they wouldn't take as many chances. There's something about the desire to just play with life, something like that, playing around with it. We have God, the God archetype in the shadow, which is despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. Usually when you need to feel empowered, it's because you feel powerless in some way, shape, or form. So using power to control people is something that she has done and is something she's doing. I'm hearing ongoing. It's just an ongoing shadow archetype. We also have manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills, teacher archetype. It is what it is. These two are super. Okay, these are the two I just told you about, the shadow archetypes. This one is the liberator. This is imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. This is someone who doesn't know boundaries, someone who wants to encroach on others. And it's to keep something about them or to hold them in some regard. This means that she does this very often. So this is the interesting thing that I'm getting from this energy. When you have the shadow archetype of God and you have the shadow archetype of the teacher, damn, are you a force to be reckoned with? I mean, or something to really watch out for, because objectively, if I saw this for anybody, I would be concerned for anyone. If you have the God archetype, teacher, liberator, and visionary all in the shadow, that's someone who will control you at all costs if they can. If it were legal, if it were, like people were not going to shit on you for doing those things, they'd do it in a second. They would control you. They would watch you suffer and literally think about only what they can get out of it. Man, I can imagine her energetically in other lives, dealing with slavery and different things and not batting an eye. Okay, this is the type of energy that I'm getting from this. I'm open, so let's see what else is coming through. The last one we had was visionary, right? Selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. This is kind of encroaching on the chameleon energy of someone who wants to please everyone, at the same time controlling everyone. Very interesting dynamic. Anywho, let's move on. Those are the archetypes that she embodies. Very childlike, but not in the right ways. You have your inner child, but you don't want your inner child to be so to be so torn, or to be so muddled to where the child archetype wants to hurt rather than just being happy, like wants to hurt or harm other individuals. Something about that is cruel. That's the energy I'm getting. I think of all the people I've read for, hers is one of the worst. This is the angel archetype that just came through. It says acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. This one as well. Liberator is coming out again. They want me to hone in on the liberator. She's very good at entrapping people. I wonder if she has some history with like mermaid lore or past lives, being a mermaid, or being someone who's a gold digger, and someone who is just kind of like focusing on how she can entrap as many people. She has that energy to her, like she's been wronged, or she feels like she's been wronged by people, and she's like coming to help. It's like coming to have them pay a price for what they did to her. It's very tit for tat. Thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information. She's not trustworthy with her information and the information from others. Be very wary of the information that you receive, okay, from Amber specifically. Now, let's keep going. Are there any last messages for Amber as we close, Spirit Team? Any last messages? Mending. So she is mending. She is addressing some really hurt energies she's holding on to, that she's triggered by people, that she's been triggered by places and things that she's been triggered by. So she right now is observing and seeing all the places where the flaws are like where she's aware of the flaws, like seeing, okay, I need to address this, I need to address that, this is really not helping me grow. We also have all that glitters. I think she's realizing and recognizing that all the glitters isn't gold in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry. It's not as nice, it's not as exciting. There are lulls is what I'm hearing. She's learning more about what excitement really could look like and what it has been for her. And also the darker side of things. She's seen the darker side, and she's looking at her emotions. She's actually analyzing her emotions and addressing her emotions and seeing why she responds the way that she does to riches, the way she responds to people and how she responds to them based on how much money they have. She's starting to manifest stability, reckonings. I'm hearing reckonings, like also coming to a recognition of things too. So she's resting more than she's ever rested before. Despite having a child, she is still resting more than she has ever rested, and she's mending. Good. What is she healing specifically? Sacred space, having a sacred space for herself, giving herself room to grow and room to breathe, room to heal. Number 21, ancient wisdom. She's also recognizing aspects of herself that she hasn't realized before. Something about the fairy archetype or like mermaid. There's like this like lore that surrounds that. And when it comes to like humanity and us believing that we're all that there is, I feel like that's such a closed-minded thing, where you don't think that there's anything beyond you. It's kind of wild to think, in my opinion. So I feel like she's coming from energetically other realms. She's been here in other realms. I feel like she's had some experience as either like someone in the animal kingdom, like, you know, like when you think of your pets and such and the connection you have with them, sometimes it's not just because they're animals and you're the human. Sometimes it could have been in reverse. There's so much fluidity with humanity and with consciousness in other forms. Something about like her realizing certain omens in life and experiences in the past and how they all connect. Something about the mother archetype helping her heal. And we have abundance, recognizing what true abundance really is. And it comes from a place, what's interesting to me is how the number 13 is what is used for this card, right? Recognition of transformation and how much richer she is for the transformation than she is the money that she got out of the situations. She's realizing what abundance really is, and all that glitters isn't gold, basically. There's a really ugly side that she's seen, and she could have seen even more if she had not been either protected or defended. All right, so that's what I have for you guys today. She's learning a lot of lessons. There is going to be opportunities for emotional release, and I think she's using this time to mend through emotional release. Is there anything else? Anything, Spirit Team? I feel like this last one's for her. She needs to have courage. She needs to remain fearless. She needs to steel herself, meaning S-T-E-E-L, like to prepare herself for what's to come. And she needs to re-energize her life. She needs to make that sacred space. They're saying that to her. She needs to make space for something stronger than what she's trusted in before. Back to the basics. She needs to center herself. She needs to reduce outside influences that aren't assisting her with the right intentions. She needs to take time to herself way more. And that's what she's doing. She's getting into nature, and she needs to get into nature more. Nature spirits will be of help to her. And like I said, I feel like she has nature spirits on her team, a lot of them. And it's okay to come in with certain aspects and addressing them. That makes more of a difference than just saying, she has just all negative attributes. She doesn't. But her negative attributes greatly outweigh her light attributes right now, and that's something that she's balancing and mending, her karma especially. So that's what I have for you guys today. Please like or share or comment on what you really appreciated about this video, as well as what you'd like to see in future videos. I would love to hear it. I'd love to know more about the people that are members now. I'm really excited to see what happens and what unfolds for all of us. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Bye.